Welcome to International Securities Exchange's podcast series. Facilitated by renowned educators, ISE podcasts are intended to teach beginning as well as seasoned investors the ins and outs of trading. To find an updated list of podcasts, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts. Please be sure to listen to our important message following this episode regarding the risks of investing in exchange-traded options.
Welcome, everyone. This is Steve Meisinger, your host for today's ISE webinar. Today, we have Steve Misic with us. Steve is, we'll be talking about identifying trade range strategies using FX options. Steve's an instructor at the Online Trading Academy, and you can always contact him at smisic@tradingacademy.com. Or you might want to go to their website, www.tradingacademy.com. They have tons of things. Of course, they have live seminars. They have a lot of information there. And if you're looking for someone that would help you learn the markets, help you learn how to trade, well, Steve might be your person. So without further ado, why don't you get started, Steve? Really appreciate you joining us today.
Hey, Steve. Thank you very much. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, and I really appreciate you joining us. I think that the crowd's going to really appreciate your presentation. I know you put a lot of effort into this, so I realize that a lot of your students are here today, well, either yours or from Online Trading Academy. We have a huge crowd here today, so I want to thank you for marketing a bit, and we always want to get the biggest crowd possible, and you've been with us so many times before. I've always heard positive comments, so thanks again for coming back.
Well, that's great. Thanks for having me. I really look forward to coming here. You guys are in the education business, just like we are, and it's all about people teaching them how to take care of their trading and investing needs. And our presentation today is going to be how to take advantage of those periods of time where prices are just kind of trading sideways, where no dominant forces in the market, where no one party is in charge, and so that's called a trading range situation. And the ISE FX options happen to be a great vehicle for that. As a matter of fact, what we like to talk about at the Trading Academy is using multiple assets, and so we'll talk about using ISE FX options to take advantage of if we ever have a quiet, non-volatile period in the dollar again, which it's funny, I'm doing a presentation on trading range strategies, and the dollar lately, of course, as everybody knows, has just been a straight one-way bet. So anyway, before we go on here, as with any kind of presentation, we want everybody to understand that for simplicity, the examples we're giving here do not include commissions or other transaction fees, okay, or margin requirements. Everybody should have a conversation with their broker, whoever they're doing business with, as to their particular requirements, because they're going to vary, all right? So you should have a conversation on margin requirements, commissions, any of those things. If you have a tax expert, of course, always consult with a tax expert. Good thing to do your tax planning during the year instead of all at once at the end of the year. Options can be, not for everybody, so understand that before you do delve into the field of trading options, make sure you get a copy of the characteristics and risks of standardized options. I believe, Steve, you're still involved with the 888 options, and you can always get a copy from there, okay? And any of these strategies that we're discussing today are going to include samples, and as I always tell our students at the Trading Academy too, we're not here to advise you on what positions to take. We're here to show you how to do it for yourself. That's what education's all about. Your goal, folks, is to learn as much as you can about as many assets as you can so that you can take charge of your financial career and your financial life, because the number one person who cares about their finances is in your mirror in the morning. Okay. All right. Since my last presentation, the good folks here at the International Securities Exchange have added on some new products, which is very exciting because what we're going to talk about today in addition to the Australian dollar, which is the standard, the British pound, and the Canadian dollar, and the euro, we now have the Mexican peso, the New Zealand dollar, the Swiss krona. 6 of the currencies that you see on here are all components of the U.S. dollar index, the broad dollar index, the basket of currencies. We'll talk about that as we go along today. And the key thing about that is not every one of the currencies are going to be trading in a trend move. Some of them are actually going to be range bounds. So if you want to break apart the components of the dollar index, the NIBOT dollar index, and trade each individual component, now you have the ability to do so. Also, there's going to be, as soon as everything gets together here, there's going to be options on the spot. So for my students that are here today, and welcome and thanks for coming, we're actually going to have the ability to hedge some of those spot risks, actually take put positions when we're long, actually take by maybe do some kind of spreading strategy, some of the things you can't do anymore in the spot market ever since the National Futures Association and the Commodities Trading Futures Corporation, CTFC, they've been getting very, very strict, and they've been cracking down on hedging in the same accounts in the spot market. So we'll have options for actually doing some of the things that we couldn't do ever since the rules have been changed. And as a matter of fact, there's another rule change coming up here at the end of November to where they're going to limit the amount of margin you can use to, you can only take 100%. So 400%, 700% leverage, some of those other things are going to go away. Things are always changing in these markets, so really, really appreciate having the ISE being on top of that and providing a vehicle for us to actually do some of the things we can't do anymore just using the spot market alone. So as I always say, every time I start a presentation here, the Online Trading Academy is a school. We are focused to teaching people how to trade. We are focused from taking anybody that has very little experience, no experience, offering a comprehensive course in each one of the asset classes that are out there. And we teach 6 and 7 day courses on site. We are a franchise, and we have franchises all over the world now. As a matter of fact, one of the benefits is, of course, it's going to be cold here in Chicago, so I should be on the Singapore, Dubai, and California tour when I do live classes coming up here shortly. So that's one of the reasons I'm one of the instructors here, and you know, besides the fact that I just love what I'm doing. I get to travel and go someplace warm for a little bit.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. To find more podcasts on options, stocks, alternative markets, and market data, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts.